just putting the finishing touches on a couple of bench hooks I made, and I secured the stop blocks to the base using glue, but then also using a series of Miller dowels through the block into the base itself for extra security. And going back and trimming the dowels flush with the top. And I started using just a Japanese flush cut saw. I think, what do we call these things? Bakuba? Flush cut saw. And I trimmed the pegs flush with the top here. And, you know, ended up scratching up the top a little bit. Again, this is a bench hook. I'm not terribly concerned about it. But it reminded me of a tip on how to use a flush cut saw without scratching up your work. And simply just take a business card as a shim, and you set that on the piece that you want to be flush with, and really referencing the saw on top of that business card, you make the cut, and you don't touch the surface at all. Now you do end up with the peg ever so slightly proud, but frankly that's what you want, because then you can take a nice sharp chisel and come back in here and pair it flush with the rest of the surface. And frankly, you get a really beautiful surface this way too, because the pairing really allows that peg to shine. So let me see if I can't bring the camera a little bit closer and show you a close-up of what this looks like. Okay, here's the peg I'm going to trim. Lay my business card in place. And just like that, trim the bulk of the waste off. I haven't touched this plate, this Bubinga ledge here, and I'll go back in with a chisel, and I use slicing cuts, so I'm referencing the flat blade of the chisel against the work here and just slicing it. And you may have to take, you know, a couple passes. You don't want to try to take too big of a chunk off at once, or, you know, you risk tearing it out. Paring is all about light removal of the wood. There you go. Nice and flat and flush, nicely polished. You can see the other one that I did there. Actually, there's a few burnish marks that are showing up on the camera, but actually in this light I can't see it at all. What I'll do is obviously run the whole thing back, you know, with a hand plane if necessary. But this is a finished piece, and you know, you can see just by trimming it quickly like that, you get a really good finished surface.